Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays collection. I'm your host Mike. This is my channel where I show off Blu-rays, DVDs, laser discs, and movie-related books. So let's get right into it, guys. Today is a very small salute to a very good, very famous, legendary, iconic musical composer, the maestro, Ennio Morricone. That's right, guys. I'm going to show a couple films that feature Ennio Morricone's scores. And also, I got a couple books I want to show you guys. So yeah, recently, let me get this other thing I need here. So recently, I checked out a movie. Now, I've had this on Laserdisc for a long time, and this is a movie that definitely needs a Laserdisc restoration. It needs to be put out by Criterion or Arrow or somebody, because this is a movie that's got a lot of good stuff going for it. This movie was made in 1969. Of course, Ennio Morricone did the score. See, the director of this movie, Gillo Pontecorvo, an Italian director. I'm not really sure. I don't think he did any really spaghetti westerns or anything, but you get the sense of that. I mean, the producer of this is Alberto Grimaldi, who famous for doing the Sergio Leone spaghetti western trilogy. He was the producer for that, and he's actually produced a lot of really famous, good, classic spaghetti westerns and stuff. So I thought, check out. I thought about rewatching this. I haven't seen this movie in probably 5 or 6 years. So let's talk about it. 1969. This is a movie called Burn. This is the Criterion Collection Laserdisc of it. It's called Burn, starring Marlon Brando. And like I said, it was directed by Pontecorvo. Really interesting, thought-provoking, political to a certain degree. Let me read the... now, this is from Danny Perry. Now, he wrote this in his book. Love Danny Perry. But let me just kind of read this to you to maybe explain more. This rarely seen, overlooked gem featuring what may be one of Marlon Brando's most fascinating characterizations was Gillo Pontecorvo. Sorry, guys. Follow-up to his political masterpiece, The Battle of Algiers. That's what he was mostly famous for. The brilliant, radical Italian director achieved something unique in cinema by wedding, as he said, the romantic adventure and the film of ideals. Although Byrne recalls an Errol Flynn swashbuckler, it is primarily a devastating attack on imperialistic nations, particularly 19th century Portugal and Great Britain depicted in the film, and by implication, the United States and its involvement in the Vietnam War. The Battle of Algiers, which made Pontecorvo made him famous. His documentary style was filmed with a cast of unknowns. It's in a grainy, scratchy black and white, filmed for a mere $800,000. Burn, written by Franco Salinas and Giorgio Orlorio, cost $3 million, with international superstar, beautiful cinematography, great attention to costumes and pageantry, and a rousing score by Ennio Morricone, who scored, all of Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns. The injections of spectacle, however, didn't mean Pontecorvo intended to tone down the politics, whereas Battle is about tactics employed by urban revolutionaries and counter-revolutionaries in cities around the world where oppression exists. not just Algiers of the time period of 1954 to 63. Byrne is the perfect complement dealing with the tactics employed by both peasant slave revolutionaries and imperialists in the Third World. Its theme is identical. Revolutions against colonists do not end when the leaders are killed, but go on and on until there is total success. Inspired by historical events, Byrne begins in 1845 on a Caribbean island controlled by Portugal, fearing a Spanish boycott. United Artists suggested that Pornicovo switch the controlling country from the historically accurate Spain to the historically accurate Spain. In the 16th century, the Portuguese set fire to the island to quell a native uprising, exterminating the entire population. They then imported black slaves from Africa to replace the dead Indians on the island's sugar plantations. Egomaniacal British secret agent Sir William Walker, played by Marlon Brando, arrives on the island to instigate a slave revolt. The intellectual foppish Walker befriends a defiant black dock worker, Jose Dolores, played by Evaristo Marquez, and preaches to him about freedom. He persuades Dolores to commit a rebellious act which leads to a full-fledged spontaneous revolution, quote, by blacks throughout the island. With Walker teaching the hero Dolores and his followers how to fight, they chase the Portuguese off the island. They expect freedom, but Walker convinces them that they aren't equipped to rule an island. Instead, he installs a native leader who will be a puppet for the British. Walker has done his job well. And for the first half of the film, Walker is our hero. He's brave, pragmatic, smart, witty, and seemingly respectful of Dolores and the other blacks. But in the second half, which takes place 10 years later, Walker returns to the island to put down an armed insurrection led by Dolores. He then burns the countryside, smoking them out and then executing the remaining rebels, and arrests his former friend Jose Dolores. With this heinous act, Walker becomes a loathsome figure, one of the many brilliant men in history who choose to serve the wrong side. Marlon Brando's most effective scenes are those with Marquez, who also has a tremendous presence, who is this unknown actor who holds his own with Brando, radiating the authority of Paul Robeson in his most dignified roles. He was an illiterate Colombian cane cutter who had never even seen a movie before. He gives an amazing performance, particularly considering that Brando had to cue Marquez by nudging him below frame every time he was supposed to speak or move. Brando became ill during the lengthy, strenuous production, necessitating changes in location filming from Colombia to such diverse locales as the Virgin Islands, France, Rome, and even Morocco. Yet he gives one of his most compelling, cerebral performances. Burt Lancaster and Richard Burton were considered for the role of Walker, but Pornicovo decided that the only one who could do this role was Brando. There are many moments where there is no time for dialogue, when we need the synthesis of Brando's acting and his face. When things are psychological, we trust the face of Brando, Danny Perry. Which I think that's a very good summing up of that. So that's the Laserdisc I've had for years, and I recently got it on DVD to see if it was any better. And actually, this DVD, really needs an upgrade. It really needs an upgrade. So this DVD version is from the early 2000s. I think it was 2004 this came out. Really, it's probably the same transfer that Criterion uses. And sometimes I think the Laserdisc has a more warm, richer look to it. You can tell there was some, deterioration between transfers and stuff. But I got the DVD of Byrne also just to have a, kind of an upgrading of it to see, and everything. But But yeah, this is definitely a movie that needs a Blu-ray for sure. And Ennio Morricone's score throughout is really good. It's unlike his famous spaghetti western scores or his other scores in Euro action films and costume dramas and whatnot. It really fits the island with tribal drumming and stuff like that. It really puts you in to that island, and you get a taste of what's going on, really. So I highly recommend Burn. Check it out, one of these copies. It's something that's not really seen a lot of. It's not seen, you don't see it much. You don't see it streaming. You don't see people talking about it much. But this next movie, Morricone scored, was a big hit. Everybody's probably heard this. This is a Blu-ray edition. This is 1986's The Mission, starring Robert De Niro and Jeremy Irons. The Mission was a big hit, directed by Roland Joffe. And it's, this is the the tale of missionaries trying to set up a mission and trying to convert the natives to Catholicism, I believe. And they keep having bad luck. The natives basically kill all the missionaries that come out. It opens up with this beautiful scene of one of the missionaries strapped to a cross, like a crucifix style, but set adrift in the river, which goes over a great waterfall, which is a stunning scene, and it kind of sums the movie up. It's kind of a battle that has no winning in sight. It's just a harsh living. The priests are brave. The missionaries are just brave people that come out here with nothing, basically, just a small knapsack on their back and barefoot, and just walk the jungle, and maybe they'll live, maybe they'll die, but they press on. But the movie kind of takes a change when they get Robert De Niro involved. He is a local, how do they refer to him? He's a local, basically he's a man, they describe him as a man of the sword. He's kind of I don't know, he's from the local town there, close by. He's kind of I don't know if he's the leader of like a gang, or he's a very well-respected person, but they bring him in. He agrees to help Jeremy Irons, complete his mission, basically, and stuff. And the natives really take to Robert De Niro and everything. So it's a sweeping, epic, beautifully filmed, beautifully scored movie and everything. So it's something you need to check out. The soundtrack is pretty famous. It's one of his most famous scores and everything. So yeah, there you go. The Mission. This is on Warner Blu-ray, the basic one. But yeah, guys, that's about it. I did want to talk about a couple of books that I recently upgraded or picked up. Now I got these used. Now this is a book I've really wanted for a long time. Big fan of Buster Keaton. I mean, Chaplin, Buster Keaton. There's kind of like me becoming a full-blown cinephile, movie nerd. There's like a trifecta. There's Kurosawa, Chaplin, and like the Marx Brothers and stuff. But Buster Keaton falls right in there too. He's very responsible for me being a film fan. The documentary that you should really check out to get into him, it was done by Kevin Brownlow. It's what's it called? Buster Keaton, A Hard Act to Follow. I about wore that Laserdisc out back in the day. I had it on Laserdisc. I have it on DVD. It's a Region 2 DVD. I don't believe it's available in America or on Blu-ray or anything. It's on VHS. But man, if you don't walk away a fan of Buster Keaton after that documentary, I don't know what else is. But anyways, this is a book I wanted to pick up. This is his autobiography. This is My Wonderful World of Slapstick by Buster Keaton. Pretty cool. Paperback. I haven't started reading this yet. But this is used. I always get used stuff unless it's something, you know. But yeah, it's another. I start autobiographies and I stop at a certain point and get this, you know, and I start another one and stuff. So I'm in the process of reading like 8 books, 8 autobiographies. But yeah, Buster Keaton, My Wonderful World of Slapstick. This is really cool. And finally, guys. As you know, I've talked about Kim Newman before. Kim Newman is a film critic, author, even part-time actor in a way. But he appears on a lot of Arrow releases, Eureka releases, doing film commentary, and also doing, like, you know, the little short supplement 30-minute video or something talking about the subject or the movie that he's talking about and stuff. So you see him a lot, and I look forward to him. I think I first discovered him on the Indicator Randolph Scott box set, where he did some interviews on there and stuff and everything. So he's really cool. Now, he wrote this book back in 1990. It's called Wild West Movies, and it's basically a book. You know, it's kind of covering stuff. It kind of covers up to like 1990, so it's around the time of Lonesome Dove was like the pinnacle movie in here. So this was before you know, Clint Eastwood would do Unforgiven in 92 and stuff like that. So, but he talks about a lot of good stuff in here. He talks about a lot of American movies, a lot of the I mean, there's some stuff about, you know, Young Guns, a lot of the you know, movies, movies, what is it, the revisionist westerns of the late 60s, early 70s, you know, the Wild Bunch and stuff like that. He even goes into detail on a couple of movies that I recently tracked down that he mentioned in here. One of them is 1988's Sunset, starring Bruce Willis and James Garner. And it's loosely based on the life of Tom Mix, who was a silent movie cowboy. So it's kind of one of those, you know, meta, behind the scenes Hollywood, you know, directed by Blake Edwards. I remember when that movie came out. It was on HBO a lot, and I was young and I didn't really understand what was going on and stuff though. But I recently found a copy on a set, like a 5-film set. Because the movie itself is out of print and it's really expensive. I think Kino put out an edition of it. And the other movie that he mentions in this book that I've never got a chance to watch, but same story, was on HBO a lot. I was too young to really understand. I think it's 1989's Old Gringo, that has, I think, Jimmy Smits and what's his name, Gregory Peck in it and stuff. So he kind of goes into those movies on here as later movies, which I really respect that he brought those up, because I instantly wanted to check those out. It like brought back memories. It's like, yeah, I want to watch those. And I'm such a big, you know, Western fan and everything. So this is going to be a great page turner, and you can find this used on eBay all day long. Wild West Movies by Kim Newman, and it's a paperback. So yeah, it's got a lot of good stuff in there. So there you go, guys. Books and Ennio Morricone. So I hope I've inspired you to maybe check out Ennio Morricone. Check out some of his soundtracks. I mean, beautiful music. I mean, just the scores from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I mean, apart from the whistling that everybody knows, it's such a beautiful theme. I mean, just beautiful soundtrack. Once Upon a Time in the West, another Sergio Leone movie, masterful soundtrack. I mean, these are my favorite stuff that I can listen to all the time, you know? So yeah, go check out some of his music, check out some of the movies that his music's in, And yeah, those books, if you're curious, check them out. You can get them relatively cheap. I think you can get them within under $20, maybe under $15, or even cheaper. So check those out. So thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Comment and hit the like button. And I will see you guys later. I got some reading to do and stuff. So take it easy, guys. Later.